Hi, we're going to talk for just a minute about state functions. State functions are really important. They don't depend on the path. All that matters is the initial and the final conditions, the initial and final states. Now, I have a little example for you. One of my daughters went to Europe on a 35-day trip. It was a study abroad, and she went to like 9 different countries, 7 different cities, had a wonderful time. She flew from JFK in New York into Madrid, went all these countries, and then went from Athens back to JFK. Now, let's say that I go on a trip. I fly from JFK to Paris, do some work, and then I come back to JFK. All right, the path was very different. Path was very different for both of us, but we both started at JFK, and whoa, we ended at JFK. Now, in state functions, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to end and begin at JFK, is that you end and begin at the same spots. It could have been that we both began at JFK and we both ended in Cincinnati. But our path in between those, that was what was different, and that's okay. A really good example of this for you, delta H, is a state function. Now, as a state function, you've got those kilojoules per mole. That ratio, that's going to be constant. To contrast that, Q is not a state function. So if I were to combust 5 grams of glucose, I'm going to get a specific amount of energy released. But then I could take that energy, divide it by the moles, and I would come up with a delta H, a state function, kilojoules per mole, that in any situation for combusting glucose, I could have 1,000,000 grams, I could have 0.5 grams. I will still have the same delta H. I'll still have that same ratio. Delta G is also going to be a state function. Something that I share with my students is we use this fact that delta H is a state function a lot. You're going to see it in Hess's law, a different path to find delta H. You're going to find it in heat of formation, a different way to find delta H. So many ways to find enthalpy, different paths, but you end with the same answer, and that's going to be the kilojoules per mole for a thermochemical equation. So there you have it. State functions. Doesn't matter the path. It's where you begin and end that's important. That can be true in life sometimes. Have a really good day. Thanks.